Yo, what's good, people? We are here with part 36 of Chronicon. This is the actual end of Archive 1. This is the last part of the page. This is it. And we got Archive 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so on and so forth. I'm going to take a short break from Chronicon and I will be reading another book as of tomorrow. I'm going to do an audio book on that one and yeah, you'll see what it is tomorrow. Shout out to archaix.com. Get onto the Archaix YouTube channel. And in the background, we got some Final Fantasy Tactics love. This is the latest theme. Let's stop this and begin the final part of Archive 1. This goes into post-flood. And then Archive 2 will be the continuation of the journey that is antiquity. A Babylonian record reads, all mankind was turned to mud. That sounds terrible. The whole world was destroyed exactly 2,070 years, or 414 times 5, after it was totally destroyed and frozen in 4309 BC. It's pretty relentless. The two planetary cataclysms and their sedimentation effects has given rise to the fiction of the Jurassic fantasy of millions of years ago. The prehistoric age of the dinosaurs was not 65 million years ago, and the scientific testing of radioactive materials and the decay rates does not take into account the contamination of radioactivity that occurred in 4309, 2239 BC, and other disasters of interplanetary origin. Prior to the Great Flood, the planet was more spherical than it is today. The crust of the planet was not fractured into plates as it is today. The Earth was literally broken at the flood, and the equatorial bulge was formed from the immense stress and pressure. The 7,920 mile diameter of the planet became 7,925 miles, and the planet no longer spun around a perfect 90-degree axis, as do the other planets closer to the Sun. Earth's axis was tilted at 23-degree inclined toward the ecliptic. Intriguingly, this 23-degree tilt reflects the history of the Earth's precessional motion. Because the retrogression of the precession of the equinox is 1 degree every 72 years in the year 2239 BC, 1656 Annus Mundi, the Earth has gone backward a total of 23 degrees, 1656 years since man's banishment from the paradise in 3895 BC. The tilt of the Earth now supports the maintenance of the polar caps and is the reason the world experiences seasonal changes, a fact unknown to the pre-flood greenhouse. The Genesis record of the Great Flood provides us another source of proof that the years in the antediluvian world were reckoned at 360 days. We are told therein that the flood lasted 5 months and that these 5 months were 150 days. This reveals a 30-day month, 12 of which would be a year, 360 days. More amazing archaeological and scientific proof of the deluge will be found throughout this research. Now we enter after the flood, beginning of the Old Bronze Age. This is 2238 BC. I'm going to get seated into the position so I can withstand the great knowledge that's about to enter my noggin. The Great Flood over. Water covering the entire world for almost a year. The planet baptized. The Ark comes to rest at the summit of Mount Ararat in modern Turkey at over 12,000 feet elevation today. Through the course of human history, men will visit the secluded site and see the Herculean structure many times. The structure is encased in a solid glacial cap, has been studied, photographed, and even been the subject of US intelligence reports. These details will be found throughout this research. The waters of the deluge were dried up. In the 601st year, the first day of the month, the very moment another great year of 600 years began. Enoch had been told by God long before that there would be survivors of the flood, that all the sons of men shall not perish in consequence of every secret by which the watchers have destroyed and which they have taught their offspring. Every human survivor was a descendant of Enoch. Noah was the great-grandson of Enoch through Methuselah and Lamech. Naamah, Noah's wife, was the daughter of Enoch. The 3 sons of Noah were married to the 3 daughters of Eliakim, son of Methuselah, son of Enoch. And that's it, guys. That ends Archive 1 of Chronicon. It's been a great little ride. We'll be into Archive 2 shortly. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to take a small break with Chronicon to start reading another novel. I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good night and a safe weekend.